Hey guys, Greg here. Welcome back to the game room. Now I just wanted to make a quick video showing you how you can get sound using the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game using your Sega Genesis Mini and Project Lunar. Now before you get into this, you might want to watch my video on how to install Project Lunar for the Sega Genesis Mini. I'll make a link to it right here for you. First thing you're going to want to do is plug in your Sega Genesis Mini. Give it a minute to boot up. And then you're going to fire up the Project Lunar UI shortcut. Then we're going to click Open Game Manager. And the first thing you're going to want to do is scroll down and find your Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game in your list. You may have already installed it on there and realize that it's not working. So you're going to have to delete it and then put it back in order to get this to work. So we'll go ahead and click Remove Game. If you get this message, don't worry about it, just hit OK. It's going to close and then we'll reopen. And then you'll see that the Ninja Turtles game is actually gone. Now we're going to click Add New Game. And we're going to select our Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Hyperstone Heist ROM. And we'll click Open. And then you're going to get the Add New Game screen. You're going to change the scraper source to GamesDB. And you can do Get Game Information. And then we'll select the Sega Genesis box art. Now before you click Add Game, you're going to want to change the executor down here from the M2 Engage stock emulator to the Genesis Plus GX emulator. And you're going to notice it's going to add this custom command in here. That's going to tell Project Lunar, when you start the game, switch over to this other emulator. And then we're going to click Add Game. Now you might get this error again. It's no big deal. Don't worry about it. Just hit OK. We're going to go ahead and reopen it. Go back to Open Game Manager. And then you'll see that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is there, and we're going to go ahead and hit sync. Alright, so the sync is finished, and we're going to go ahead and take our Sega Genesis Mini and hook it back to our TV, and I'll show you how to use it. Alright, so I just went ahead and turned on the Genesis Mini like I always do, and went down to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Hyperstone Heist game. We'll go ahead and start that. And you can see it starts like any other normal game would, but in actuality it's going to be running the Genesis Plus GX emulator instead of the stock emulator. And right there in the bottom corner kind of gives you the clue that it's not going to be using the stock emulator. Now you're going to probably notice right off the bat that this emulation is not quite as clear as the stock emulator is. And I haven't figured out a way to make it clearer. I'm sure there's some setting in there somewhere deep in the system that will make it look better, but for now, I'm just happy to have sound. So let's go ahead and hit start. Make it sound. Listen to that glorious sound in this game. Such a wonderful background to be showing in a YouTube video. A garbage can. Yeah, I guess that fits in with people dumpster diving and stuff like that for video game stuff. What is that up at the top there say? U.S. jail? I can't really read that. Shell shock. And now that I've died, I thought I would take this opportunity to show you how to create a save state with this emulator. Now, it's a little bit different with a 6-button controller, because normally on the 6-button controller I can just hit the select button and it'll take me back to the save state settings for the stock Genesis emulator. You can also hit the start and the A button to jump out. Now that's what I'm going to actually have to do here, is hold down the start and the A button, and it's going to take me into the quick menu screen for this. Now what I want to do here is go down to save state, and we're going to hit the B button to actually save that state. And you can see at the bottom corner it says save state to slot 0. And of course, if you want to restore a saved state, you'll go ahead and hold down the start and the A button, and then you're going to go down to here where it says load state and hit the B button. Boom, I'm back to where I was before. Now if you wanted to, you could change the slot that it's using. Hold down the start and the A button. And then you can go ahead and choose the save state slot that you want right here. And I could go ahead and say 1. And then we'll hit save state. And now it says saved state to slot 1. So let's go ahead and go back out to the quick menu again. And if I want to get out of this game, I have to hit close content by pressing the B button. And that gets me out of that particular game. And now I'm going to back out of that again. If I want to go back to the stock emulation screen with all the games like, usual, I'm going to hit the B button on quit RetroArch here. And you can see it takes me back to the familiar interface with the Genesis Mini. And now I'm going to show you what happens when you use the other emulator, the PicoDrive emulator, which is perfectly fine except for one small problem. Now if I go ahead and run the game, I can get back into those RetroArch settings. It's kind of a quick way to get around. And then I can close that content by pushing the B button. It's basically going to stop that emulator and we'll go ahead and start up PicoDrive instead. So if we go down to load content, push the B button, and I think start directory, yeah. You can see I tried to run TMNT for the 32X here. I was not successful, but here's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Hyperstone Heist. I think it just puts these ROMs here in this space automatically. I don't remember putting them in any particular folder. Just put them there. So I'll go ahead and hit B on that because I want to start that game up. Now you notice I have a choice between Genesis Plus, GX, or PicoDrive. This time I'm going to run PicoDrive with it. So I'll hit the B button on PicoDrive, and you can see it looks like it's loading up as it did before. It's fine. Go ahead and start it. And as you can see, the game plays just perfectly fine with PicoDrive. Sound is good. But there's one small detail that was bothering me when I was playing the game with the PicoDrive emulator. And if you look up at the top where the score is, I'll pause it here, you can see where it says Leo, and then over to the right of that it says 7, which is my score, how many Foot Clan I've beaten up so far. And you'll notice the top of it is cut off. So I don't know what's causing that. But because of that small minor detail, I decided that the Genesis Plus GX emulator was better. And I'll go back to that just to show you. I'll say close content, back out of there, load content, start directory, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Genesis Plus GX. And now once we're back in the Genesis Plus GX emulator, you can see that the score is not cut off. It looks perfectly fine. Using PicoDrive doesn't affect the game at all, it's just that one small minor detail. Alright guys, so I figured out how to do the bilinear filtering, basically turning off this blurriness. It's driving me nuts. First thing you have to do is close out of the game that you're currently playing. Go down here and hit close content. Select that and hit the B button, and then we're going to back up. You back up by pressing the C. I don't know that I mentioned that earlier. Then when you're in the RetroArch menu, you're going to want to go over here to settings. Hit B button, and we're going to go down to video. Then we're going to go all the way down to the bottom to the bilinear filtering, and we're going to turn that off. And then we're going to back out again, hitting the C button, and we'll go back over to main menu, and we can do load content, B button, start directory, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Genesis Plus GX. I'll load my save game. And there we go. Oh, that looks so much better. I don't know why anybody would want to turn on the bilinear filtering. It just makes it blurry and hard to see. Alright, well there you go. That's how you can get sound in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Hyperstone Heist for the Sega Genesis on the Sega Genesis Mini, using Project Lunar and the Genesis Plus GX emulator. If you found this video helpful, please remember to hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons down below. Thank you all for watching, have a great day, and remember to keep classic gaming alive.